Chicago, Christmas night. A single father sits across from a woman who just called his 7-year-old daughter baggage. She walks out without looking back, and every head in the restaurant turns to watch him pay for a meal no one ate. He's calculating how much this humiliation cost Boots his kid needs a dentist bill he's been dodging. Then, a stranger at the next table stands up. Wealthy. Polished. Completely serious. She says 5 words that will destroy and rebuild his entire life. Will you be my husband? What happens next isn't a fairy tale. It's a war between 2 people, choosing love over safety, a child who refuses to lose another parent, and a family that measures worth in bank statements. This is the story of what it costs to belong. Drop a like if you've ever felt like you had to earn the right to be loved, and tell me where you're watching from. 3 days pass like a held breath. Ethan stares at the business card Claire pressed into his hand before she left that restaurant. Heavy stock paper embossed lettering. Whitmore and Associates, corporate law, the kind of firm that defends companies, not people like him. He almost throws it away twice. But Christmas night keeps replaying. Not the humiliation, the moment after. The way Claire looked at him when she said those 5 impossible words, like she was drowning and asking him to drown with her. Mrs. Alvarez catches him holding the card on the 3rd morning. She's in his kitchen before sunrise because that's what she does. Makes coffee. Feeds his kid. Asks questions he can't dodge. You going to call her? Or you going to keep staring at that thing like it's a bomb? Ethan folds the card. His hands still smell like the industrial soap from work. Network cables and server rooms. He fixes things that break. He's good at it. But he can't fix what's broken in his life with a screwdriver and a password reset. I don't know what she wants. Mrs. Alvarez pours him coffee without asking. Black 1 sugar. Same way his dead wife used to make it. She wants what you want. A family that doesn't come with a checklist. Ethan texts Claire at 6:47 a.m. Short, simple, terrified. I'm free Thursday. Morning, somewhere public. Her response comes in under a minute. Proof coffee. River North, 9 a.m. I'll be the one who looks like she hasn't slept in 3 days. Thursday morning, Ethan stands outside Proof for 10 minutes before he goes in. The place is all exposed brick and reclaimed wood. Pastries that cost what he spends on groceries. He feels his Goodwill sweater advertising his tax bracket. Claire is already at a corner table. Laptop closed. Hands wrapped around a mug like she's trying to warm something deeper than skin. She sees him and her whole face changes. Not a smile. Relief. She stands. Gestures to the chair across from her. There's already a coffee waiting. Black, 1 sugar. Ethan sits slowly. You memorized my coffee order. Claire meets his eyes without flinching. I'm thorough. It's a character flaw. The silence stretches. Not awkward. Assessing. 2 people trying to figure out if they're about to make the best or worst decision of their lives. Ethan breaks first. Why me? Claire doesn't soften it. Doesn't try to make it romantic. She goes straight to the wound. I can't have biological children. She says it the way people say cancer or bankruptcy. A fact that rewrote her entire future without asking permission. Car accident. 7 years ago. I was 28. Emergency surgery. They saved my life and took away the one thing I'd never questioned I'd have. The doctors were very kind when they explained that infertile would now be part of my identity. Ethan's jaw tightens. Not pity, anger on her behalf. That's messed up. Claire's mouth does something that's almost a smile, but mostly exhaustion. I thought so too. For a while, I tried to pretend it didn't matter. Focused on work. Made partner at 32. Built a life that looked successful on paper. Started dating again when my mother wouldn't stop asking about grandchildren. She pauses, drinks coffee, steadies herself. Turns out, men want a woman who can give them a legacy. A biological heir. someone to carry on the family name. I became very good at first dates, very bad at second ones. They'd hear the word infertile and suddenly remember they had early meetings or sick relatives or commitment issues. One guy told me I was a great career, but he wanted a family. Ethan feels something hot and sharp in his chest. He said that, to my face, like I was a stock option he was declining. The anger in Ethan's voice surprises him. You deserve better than that. Claire looks at him like he just said something radical. So do you. Now it's Ethan's turn to flinch. Your date. Christmas night. I heard what she said. About your daughter being baggage. I watched you sit there and take it like you'd heard it before. Like you expected it. Ethan stares at his coffee. The truth sits in his throat like broken glass. I have. Heard it before. Different words, same message. I'm a package deal. My daughter comes first. Women say they understand. Then they meet Lila and suddenly I'm too complicated. Too much responsibility. They want fun, adventure, someone who can be spontaneous. I can't. I've got a 7-year-old who needs routines and stability and a father who doesn't choose dates over bedtime stories. Claire leans forward. Her voice drops. You're a father. The kind who doesn't hide his kid like a secret. You put her first. Women see that and decide you're too complicated. Men see my medical history and decide I'm not enough. We're both being rejected for the same reason. We chose honesty over convenient lies. The words land between them, true and terrible. Ethan looks up. So, what are you proposing? Actually proposing? Claire pulls out a leather notebook, flips it open. There are handwritten notes. Lists. She's been planning this. A real relationship. Built intentionally. Not pretending we're in love. Not faking chemistry for social media or family photos. We build something honest, slow, with clear boundaries and legal protections. Ethan's brain fights to catch up. Legal protections. Claire's voice gets crisp, attorney mode. I'm not asking you to sign away your parental rights or put your daughter at risk. The opposite. We draw up agreements that protect you. Separate finances initially. Clear exit terms if this doesn't work. No one gets hurt more than necessary. She flips a page. Timeline. We date publicly. 6 months minimum before any discussion of marriage. A year before we consider living together. Your daughter's comfort dictates the pace. Not my family's expectations. Not societal pressure. Her. Ethan feels his throat tighten. You've thought about this. I haven't thought about anything else since Christmas night. I watched you sit there and absorb that woman's cruelty. I watched you calculate the cost of a meal you didn't eat. I saw a man who's been beaten down and keeps standing up because someone needs him to. She closes the notebook. I need someone to need me. Not my bank account, not my law degree, not my family name. Me. And I can offer you something real. Partnership. Stability. A second parent for your daughter if she wants that, but only if she wants it. Ethan's voice comes out rough. What if Lila doesn't like you? Then I walk. No argument, no guilt trip. I'm not forcing my way into a child's life because I'm lonely. She has to choose this too. The coffee shop hums around them. Someone's laptop plays soft jazz. A barista calls out an order. Normal life continuing while Ethan's entire future hangs on what he says next. I need to think. Claire nods, slides a piece of paper across the table. Her handwriting. Personal cell number. Take all the time you need. But Ethan, I'm serious about this. I'm not playing games. I'm not experimenting. I'm 35 years old and I'm tired of pretending I don't want a family just because I can't have biological children. Your daughter already exists. She's real. She needs love. I have love to give. The math works if we're brave enough to try it. Ethan takes the paper, folds it carefully. Why does this feel more terrifying than any date I've ever been on? Claire almost smiles, almost, because it matters. Ethan goes home. His apartment is quiet. Mrs. Alvarez left an hour ago. Lila is at school. He stands in the kitchen and stares at the refrigerator. Crayon drawings. Report cards. A photograph from 2 years ago. His wife smiling. Lila on her hip. The last good day before the hospital. He knows his wife would want him to be happy. Would want Lila to have more than a father who's slowly drowning in grief and medical debt and loneliness. But knowing and doing are different countries. Lila comes home at 3:15. Backpack too big for her small frame. She drops it by the door and climbs onto the kitchen counter like she owns the place. How was school? Boring. We learned about the solar system, but Mrs. Patterson said Pluto isn't a planet anymore, and I told her that's still controversial in the scientific community. Ethan hides his smile. Did Mrs. Patterson appreciate your input? She gave me extra credit for using a 4-syllable word. Lila swings her legs, studies him with eyes too old for 7. You look weird. Ethan leans against the counter. Weird how? Like you're scared but also not scared. Like when we went on the Ferris wheel and you wanted to throw up but also didn't want me to know. Ethan takes a breath. He's never lied to his daughter. Not about the big things. I met someone, a woman. She wants to get to know us. Lila stops swinging. Like a date. Sort of. More than a date. She's serious. Lila's face does something complicated. Hope and fear fighting for space. Does she know about me? She knows everything about you. That's why she wants to meet you. Lila picks at a loose thread on her jeans. What if she's like the other ones? What if she's nice at first and then decides we're too much work? Ethan's heart cracks. Then we'll be okay, like we've always been. But Lila's not done. Her voice gets small. Dad, do you want her to like me or do you want me to like her? Ethan moves closer, eye level. I want you to like her. If you don't, she goes away. No discussion. You're the only opinion that matters. Lila thinks, her face serious. What's her name? Claire. Does she have kids? No. Why not? Ethan chooses his words carefully. She can't have biological children. Her body doesn't work that way. But she wants a family. Lila absorbs this. My friend Maya is adopted. She says family isn't about DNA. It's about who stays. Ethan feels his throat close. Your friend is smart. Lila slides off the counter, stands in front of him. Okay, I'll meet her. But if she's mean or fake or talks to me like I'm a baby, I'm out. Deal. That night, after Lila falls asleep with a book about Mars rovers on her chest, Ethan texts Claire. Saturday, Lincoln Park, 2 p.m. Playground near the zoo. Come alone, dress warm. She's going to test you. Claire's response comes fast. Good. I'd be worried if she didn't. Saturday morning arrives with fresh snow and thin sunlight. Ethan watches Lila pick her outfit. Purple jacket, space-themed mittens. She's nervous. Won't admit it. They arrive early. Lila heads straight for the swings. Ethan pushes her higher and higher. Astronaut height, she calls it. She's laughing, but her eyes keep scanning the paths. Then Claire appears. Jeans, navy sweater, hair pulled back, still somehow polished, but trying not to be. She stops at the edge of the playground. Takes one visible breath, nervous, actually nervous. She walks over slowly. Doesn't interrupt. Waits for a natural pause. Lila sees her first. Stops pumping her legs. The swing slows. Claire kneels. Eye level. Doesn't tower. You must be Lila. Your dad says you like space. Lila studies her. Scientist evaluating a hypothesis. Do you know anything about Mars rovers? Claire doesn't baby talk. Doesn't condescend. A little. I know Curiosity has been up there since 2012, and Perseverance is looking for signs of ancient life. But I bet you know way more than I do. Want to teach me? Lila's expression shifts. She's been waiting for fake, and this isn't fake. Okay, but I'm going to quiz you after. Claire smiles. Fair. They walk. Lila talks. Claire listens like she's in a courtroom taking notes on testimony. Ethan trails behind, watching, waiting for the moment it falls apart. It doesn't. Hot chocolate later. Lila demands extra marshmallows, gets them. She's more relaxed now, testing boundaries. Do you have kids? Claire's fingers tighten on her cup, but her voice stays steady. No, I can't have biological children, but I'd like a family someday. If I'm lucky enough to find people who want me in theirs, Lila thinks. Long silence. My friend Maya is adopted. She says family is who stays. Claire's eyes get bright, but she doesn't make it about herself. Your friend is absolutely right. Lila reaches across the table, grabs Ethan's hand. Her voice gets fierce. He stayed. When Mom died, when it was really hard, he stayed. Ethan can't breathe. Claire watches them like she's seeing something sacred. Then he's the best kind of person. The afternoon stretches. They walk through the zoo. Lila points out animal facts. Claire asks questions that prove she's actually listening. By the time they head back to the parking lot, Lila is walking between them, not holding hands, but close. At the car, Lila turns to Claire. Are you going to come back? Claire kneels again. Honest. Do you want me to? Lila nods, small, certain. Okay, then I will. They drive home. Lila falls asleep in the back seat. Ethan glances in the rearview mirror, his daughter's face peaceful. Younger than she's looked in months. His phone buzzes, text from Claire. Thank you for letting me meet her. She's extraordinary. You've done an incredible job. Ethan pulls over, types with shaking hands. She liked you. That doesn't happen. Claire's response makes his chest ache. I liked her too. I'd like to see you both again, if that's okay. Ethan looks at his sleeping daughter, thinks about his dead wife. Wonders if he's allowed to want this. He types one word. Yes. Over the next 6 weeks, Claire becomes part of their routine without taking it over. Tuesday dinners at Ethan's cramped kitchen table helping Lila with homework. Saturday mornings at the library. Sundays at the Science Museum when Ethan can afford tickets and Claire pretends she didn't secretly pay for them. She learns how Ethan takes his coffee. How Lila needs 15 minutes of quiet time after school. How their apartment building has thin walls and a landlord who doesn't fix things. She brings groceries. Too expensive. Organic. Ethan bristles. I can feed my own kid. Claire doesn't back down. I know you can. I'm not trying to rescue you. I'm trying to contribute. This is what partners do. The word partner lands between them. New, terrifying. One night, Lila asleep on the couch, Claire asks the question Ethan's been dreading. Tell me about your wife. Ethan's whole body goes rigid. Every woman he's dated has treated his dead wife like competition, like a ghost to exercise. Claire's voice stays soft. I'm not asking to replace her. I'm asking to understand the woman who made you a father, who loved you, who gave you Lila. Ethan's throat works. The story comes out jagged. She died during childbirth. Complications. They asked me to choose, her or the baby. I couldn't. I froze. They made the choice for me. Saved Lila, lost Sarah. For 2 years I couldn't look at my daughter without seeing what she cost. I was a terrible father, angry, drowning. Mrs. Alvarez basically raised Lila while I worked double shifts and hated myself. Claire doesn't interrupt, doesn't offer empty comfort. When did it change? Lila turned 3. She looked at me one morning and said, Daddy, why are you sad all the time? And I realized I was teaching her that her existence was a tragedy, that she was the reason I was broken. I decided that day I'd rather be a good father than an honest, grieving husband. Claire reaches across, takes his hand. Her voice cracks. I'm not here to erase Sarah. I'm here to add to what she started, to honor it. Your wife gave Lila life. I'd like to help give her a future, if you'll let me. Ethan looks at her. This woman who walked into his disaster and asked to stay. I don't know how to do this. Neither do I. That's why we'll figure it out together. But the careful peace shatters when Claire's phone buzzes on a Wednesday night. She flinches before answering. Ethan sees her face change, sees her become someone smaller. She hangs up. That was my mother. Sunday dinner. My family wants to meet you. Ethan's stomach drops. You told them about me. I told them I was seeing someone. They've been asking questions. I can't put them off anymore. What did you tell them? The truth. That you're a single father, that you work in IT, that I'm serious about you. Claire's voice gets tight. They're going to hate that you're not one of them. Ethan looks at Lila sprawled on the couch. Dinosaur pajamas. NASA book under her cheek. Then I'm not bringing my daughter into that. Claire nods immediately. Agreed. This first round is just you and me walking into the fire. We face them together. See if they can be decent human beings. If they can't, we set boundaries, hard ones. Ethan wants to run. Every instinct screams to grab his kid and disappear. But he looks at Claire, sees the same fear he feels. He stays. Sunday arrives cold and merciless. Ethan stands in front of his bathroom mirror trying to make his one good shirt look less goodwill. It doesn't work. The collar's frayed. The cuffs are worn. He looks exactly like what he is. A man who measures his life in paychecks that vanish before they clear. Lila watches from the doorway. She's in her pajamas. Safe. Staying with Mrs. Alvarez for the night. You look scared. Ethan forces a smile. Just nervous. Lila walks over. Straightens his collar with small serious hands. If they're mean, you can leave. You don't have to stay places that hurt. Ethan kneels, eye level. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart, you just noticed. He kisses her forehead. Tries not to think about what Claire's family might say about his daughter. About whether she's good enough, polished enough, the right kind of child for their world. Mrs. Alvarez appears, takes Lila's hand. Go, face the wolves, come back whole. Claire picks him up at 6. She's driving a car that costs more than 3 years of his salary. She sees his face when he opens the passenger door. It's my father's old car. I hate it. But my Civic is in the shop and I didn't want to show up in an Uber. Ethan slides in. Leather seats. New car smell. Everything in his life feels temporary and borrowed. This feels permanent and owned. They drive north, out of the city, into suburbs where the houses get bigger and the driveways get longer, where lawns look painted and Christmas lights are professionally installed. Claire's hands are tight on the wheel. I need to prepare you. Ethan's stomach turns. Prepare me how? My father is a corporate defense attorney. Old money. He measures people by their tax bracket and their zip code. My mother is a surgeon's daughter who married up and never forgot it. My sister Brooke is 32 and has never worked a day in her life. She married a hedge fund manager and thinks that's an accomplishment. Claire's voice gets smaller. They're going to look at you and see everything you're not. Ivy League. Country club. Summer house. They're going to try to make you feel small. Ethan stares out the window. I already feel small. Claire glances at him. Fierce. You're not. You're the most real person I've met in 10 years. Don't let them convince you otherwise. They pull up to a house that looks like it belongs in a magazine. Stone facade, columns, gardens that probably have names. Ethan can see his reflection in the front door before Claire even rings the bell. He looks like help, like someone who'd use the service entrance. The door opens. A woman in pearls and a cashmere sweater, a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Claire, darling. She kisses Claire's cheek, looks at Ethan like he's a stain. And this must be Ethan. Marianne Whitmore. Her handshake is cold, performative. They step inside. The foyer is bigger than Ethan's entire apartment. Marble floors, original art. A chandelier that could feed his kid for 6 months. Charles Whitmore emerges from somewhere expensive. Tall, silver hair. Suit even on Sunday. He shakes Ethan's hand like he's testing bone structure. Ethan, Good to finally meet you. Claire speaks very highly. The words are right, the tone says liar. Dinner is in the formal dining room. Table that seats 12. China that's probably older than Ethan. He sits where he's told. Feels the chair cost more than his security deposit. Brooke arrives late, blonde, polished. Engagement ring the size of a warning. Sorry. Pilates ran long. She kisses her father's cheek, shakes Ethan's hand like she might catch poverty. So you're the one Claire's been hiding. Not hiding, just being careful. Claire's voice has an edge. Ethan hears it. Her family doesn't. Dinner starts civil. Soup course. Small talk about weather and traffic. Then Charles leans back. Begins the interrogation disguised as conversation. So Ethan, Claire mentioned you work in IT, network administration. He says ET like it's a hobby. Like it's something people do between real jobs. That's right. I manage network infrastructure for a data center downtown. Charles nods, calculates. Stable field. Though I imagine the hours can be unpredictable, sometimes. But I make it work. My daughter needs consistency. Brooke smiles, all teeth. How old is she again? 7. And her mother. The table goes quiet. Even Marianne stops cutting her food. Ethan's voice stays level. She passed away during childbirth. Brooke's face does something that might be sympathy if sympathy could be faked. How tragic. So you're raising her alone. With help, I have good people. But yeah, it's mostly me. Charles jumps in, smooth, surgical. That's admirable. Single parenthood requires sacrifice. Financial planning. I imagine childcare alone must be substantial. Ethan feels the trap, sees it closing. I manage. And savings. For her future, college, opportunities. Claire's fork hits her plate. Sharp sound, warning. Dad. Charles ignores her. I'm just curious about stability. Long-term planning. These are important considerations when someone is entering our daughter's life. Ethan's hands are fists under the table. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have stocks or investments. I have a kid who eats first and a father who works 2 jobs when necessary. My savings go toward her dental work and school supplies and the fact that she's growing out of shoes every 4 months. That's my financial planning. Silence. Marianne dabs her mouth with a napkin that probably costs $50. No one's judging. We're just concerned about Claire's well-being. She's accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Ethan looks at Claire. She's rigid, ashamed, angry. I'm not asking Claire to lower her standards. I'm asking her to expand what she values. Brooke laughs. Light, vicious. That's very poetic. But poetry doesn't pay mortgages. Good thing I have a job then. The main course arrives. Steak. Ethan's never seen a cut of meat this expensive. He eats because not eating would be worse. Every bite tastes like humiliation. Marianne pivots, new angle. Blended families can be complicated. Children need structure. Appropriate guidance. Has your daughter had therapy? After losing her mother, Ethan's jaw locks. She's seen a school counselor. I can't afford private therapy on my insurance. Of course. Well, these things are important. Especially for children who've experienced trauma. They can develop attachment issues. Behavioral problems. My daughter doesn't have behavioral problems. She's a good kid. Brooke leans in, fake concern. It's just that Claire usually dates men with similar trajectories. Educational backgrounds. Social circles. This is different. Ethan hears it clearly. Sees it in their faces. Not your kind, not your class, not enough. He stands. Chair scrapes. Every head turns. Thank you for dinner, but I need to leave. Claire's face goes white. Ethan. He pulls cash from his wallet. 2 20s, sets it on the table. For my portion. Charles actually laughs. That's not necessary. Ethan's voice could cut glass. I don't take charity. I pay my way. He looks at Marianne, at Brooke, at Charles. I'm not asking you to like me. I don't need your approval. but you don't get to measure my daughter. She's not a problem to be managed or a complication to be solved. She's a kid who deserves love. If you can't see that that's your failure, not hers." He turns to Claire. "I'm sorry, I can't do this." He walks down the hallway, past the chandelier, out into cold air that feels like relief. He makes it to the curb before Claire catches him. She's not asking him to stop. She's standing beside him, breathing hard, furious. Wait. She turns, marches back inside. Ethan watches through the window, sees her standing in that dining room, sees her family at the table looking confused and annoyed. Claire's voice carries through the open door. "Enough." She doesn't plead, doesn't negotiate. "He's my choice, not yours. And you don't get to treat him like he's beneath you because he doesn't have your bank account or your pedigree. He's a good man, a great father, and he's worth 10 of the men you've tried to set me up with." Charles stands. "We're protecting you. From what? Happiness, authenticity. Someone who actually sees me instead of seeing a Whitmore." Brooke tries. "Claire, we're family. Then act like it. Family doesn't humiliate people, doesn't measure worth in stock portfolios, doesn't call a 7-year-old girl a complication." Marianne's voice shakes. "We never said. You didn't have to. I heard it. He heard it. You looked at him and decided he wasn't enough. Based on what? His clothes, his job, the fact that he's raising a child alone because his wife died. That makes him weak to you. It makes him extraordinary to me." She grabs her coat, her purse. "I'm leaving, and I'm not coming back until you can be decent human beings. You want access to my life, you earn it. By respecting the people I love." She walks out, lets the door close behind her. Ethan is standing on the sidewalk, shaking, from cold and adrenaline and shame. Claire walks straight to him. "I'm sorry." Ethan shakes his head. "You don't have to apologize for them." "Yes, I do. They're my family, my responsibility." They stand there, street quiet, house glowing behind them. Two people who don't fit anywhere trying to figure out where they belong. You can't win with them. Claire's voice is steel. "I'm not trying to win, I'm drawing a line." Ethan looks at her. Really looks. This woman who just chose him over everything she's ever known. Why? Why what? Why me? Why this? You could have anyone. Claire steps closer. Her breath makes clouds in cold air. "Because you're real. Because when I told you I couldn't have children, you got angry on my behalf instead of running away. Because you put your daughter first, even when it costs you everything. Because you stood in that house and refused to be small." Her voice cracks. "I don't want someone who fits my family's expectations. I want someone who makes me want to be better." Ethan can't breathe, can't think, can only feel the impossible weight of being chosen. "I'm not leaving you because it's hard." She says it like a vow, like a promise tattooed on bone. Ethan kisses her. Soft, stunned, real. Not performance, not strategy. Just two people who decided scared was better than alone. When they pull back, Claire is crying. Ethan's hands are shaking. What do we do now? We go home. We tell Lila what happened. We figure out boundaries. And we decide if we're strong enough to fight for this. Ethan looks back at the house, at the life Claire is walking away from. They're not going to let this go. Claire's smile is small and dangerous. Good. I've been letting them control my life for 35 years. I'm done. They drive back to the city in silence, Claire's hand in his. Two people building something from wreckage. She drops him at his building. Ethan doesn't want to let go. "I'll call you tomorrow, after I talk to Lila." Claire nods. "Tell her I'm sorry she has to deal with this. Tell her yourself. She's going to want to hear from you." Ethan goes inside. The building smells like curry and cleaning products. His apartment is dark and small and perfect. Mrs. Alvarez is on the couch. Lila is asleep in her room. How bad? Mrs. Alvarez always knows. They treated me like I was something they'd scrape off their shoes. And Claire. She walked out with me. Mrs. Alvarez nods, approves. Then she's worth keeping. Ethan sits, tells her everything. The interrogation, the insults, the cash on the table. Claire's speech, the kiss that tasted like choosing. When he's done, Mrs. Alvarez pats his hand. You showed that girl your spine. That matters. Now, the question is whether her family can evolve, or if you'll have to build a life without them. Leela appears in the doorway. Half asleep. Dinosaur pajamas. Did they like you? Ethan chooses honesty. Not yet. Lila climbs onto his lap. Too big for this, but doing it anyway. Okay, Claire likes you. That's the important one. Ethan holds his daughter. Thinks about the woman who defended him. Wonders if he's brave enough to believe this could work. His phone buzzes. Text from Claire. I meant what I said. I'm not leaving. We figure this out together. Ethan types back with one hand. Lila's weight warm and solid. Together. He puts the phone down. Kisses his daughter's hair. Lets himself believe that maybe, just maybe, broken people can build something whole. 2 weeks pass. Careful peace. Claire comes over 3 times a week. Helps with homework. Brings dinner. Learns that Lila needs exactly 8 minutes to warm up in the morning, and that Ethan drinks coffee like it's medicine. They don't talk about her family. The silence sits between them like a third person at the table. Then Claire's phone rings on a Wednesday night. She looks at the screen. Her whole face changes. My mother wants a family meeting. Ethan is washing dishes, stops. Why? She says they want to apologize, to try again, to meet Lila properly this time. Ethan's stomach drops. Lila is on the couch, headphones on, lost in a documentary about black holes. She doesn't hear the conversation, but Ethan sees her there. Small, safe. His entire world in dinosaur pajamas. I don't know. Claire's voice gets soft. I think they mean it. My mother called me yesterday. Said my father has been miserable. That he knows he was wrong. Ethan turns, searches her face. Do you believe her? Claire hesitates. That hesitation is answer enough. I want to. But I also want you and Lila protected. So here's what I'm thinking. We go. Together, all 3 of us. We set ground rules before we even walk in. And the second anyone crosses a line, we leave. No apologies. No second chances. Ethan looks at his daughter. Thinks about exposing her to people who measure children by their pedigree. What if they hurt her? Then I burn every bridge I have with them. Permanently. Lila pulls off her headphones, walks over. She's been listening. Are we going to meet Claire's family? Ethan and Claire exchange glances. No point lying now. They want to meet you. But we don't have to go. Your vote matters most. Lila thinks, her face too serious. Will they be mean? Ethan chooses honesty. I don't know. They were mean to me. But Claire thinks they want to do better. Lila looks at Claire. Do you want me to meet them? Claire kneels. Eye level. Always eye level. Only if you feel safe. I'm not going to force you into a room with people who might make you feel bad. But I'd like them to see how amazing you are. Maybe it'll teach them something. Leela nods slowly. Okay. But if they say anything bad about my dad, I'm telling them off. I don't care if they're adults. Ethan almost smiles, almost. Deal. Saturday comes too fast. Ethan dresses Lila in her good jeans and the sweater Mrs. Alvarez bought her for Christmas. Purple, soft. She looks small and brave. In the car, Lila sits in the back. Quiet. Ethan watches her in the rearview mirror. You okay, kiddo? Leela meets his eyes. I'm practicing what I'll say if they're mean. I have 3 good comebacks ready. Claire laughs. Real. Surprise. I like you more every day. They pull up to the Whitmore house. Lila's eyes go wide. They live here, this whole thing. Claire's voice gets tight. Unfortunately, the door opens before they knock. Mary Ann. Different than last time, softer, nervous. Claire, Ethan, and you must be Lila. She doesn't reach to shake Lila's hand, doesn't invade her space. Hi? Lila's voice is small but steady. They go inside. The house still feels like a museum, but someone tried. There are cookies on the coffee table, real cookies, not catered ones, slightly burnt around the edges. Charles appears. He looks older, tired. He nods at Ethan, not warm, but trying. Thank you for coming. They sit. Lila stays close to Ethan. Claire sits between Lila and her mother like a shield. Mary Ann starts. We wanted to apologize for how we behaved. We were rude and judgmental, and we treated Ethan terribly. Charles clears his throat. We let our own biases cloud our judgment. That was wrong. Lila watches them. Listening, calculating. Brooke is late. Arrives in yoga gear and apologies. She sees Lila and her smile goes wide and fake. Oh my goodness, you're adorable. Lila's face shudders. Ethan knows that look. That's the look she gives to teachers who talk down to her. Thank you. I'm also smart. Brooke blinks, laughs uncomfortably. Of course you are. They try small talk. Ask Lila about school, about her interests. Lila answers in complete sentences. Polite, guarded. Then Charles does something that changes the temperature in the room. He stands, walks to his office, returns with a folder. Before we go any further, I need to address something. Claire's face goes white. Dad, don't. Charles opens the folder. Ethan sees papers, documents. His chest goes cold. I had a background check done. The room explodes. Claire shoots to her feet. You what? Charles holds up a hand. Calm. Controlled, convinced he's being reasonable. I wanted to make sure. For your protection. For the child's safety. Ethan can't breathe, can't move. Lila's hand tightens in his. Claire's voice could strip paint. You investigated him, like a criminal, for due diligence. And I found some things that concern me. He reads from the papers. Clinical, detached, destroying Ethan's life with bullet points. Outstanding debt. Medical bills totaling $47,000. 3 collection agencies. Credit score below 600. Building code violations in his apartment complex. His daughter has visited the school nurse 18 times this year. That's above average. Each word is a hammer. Each fact a nail in a coffin Ethan didn't know he was building. Lila makes a small sound. Ethan looks down. She's staring at him, trying to understand why these people are listing everything wrong with their life. Ethan's voice shakes, but he forces it steady. My debt is from burying my wife, from keeping my daughter alive. I don't have savings because she eats first. The building violations are because my landlord is a slumlord and I can't afford to move. And Lila visits the nurse because she has anxiety, and the school counselor's office makes her feel safe. He stands, still holding Lila's hand. I'm not a criminal. I'm a father doing his best, and you just humiliated me in front of my daughter. Lila's face is white. She's shaking. She doesn't understand the numbers, but she understands shame. Charles presses on. Oblivious or uncaring. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm saying there are practical concerns. Stability. Environment. Whether this is the right situation for Claire to enter. Mary Ann adds, gentle voice, vicious meaning. We want what's best for everyone, including Lila. She deserves opportunities, structure, things that might be difficult in her current circumstances. Ethan hears it. The implication that he's failing his daughter, that she'd be better off somewhere else, with someone else. He sees Lila's face, sees her small body curling in on itself, sees her blaming herself for being expensive, for needing things, for existing. He makes a decision. We're leaving. Claire reaches for him, desperate. Ethan, please, don't. He shakes his head, looks at her family, at their expensive furniture and their cheap hearts. I won't teach my daughter she has to earn the right to belong, that she's a burden, a complication, a set of problems that need solving. He looks at Charles. You wanted to protect Claire. Congratulations. You just proved I don't belong in your world, and I won't force my kid to grow up feeling like she doesn't either. Claire is crying. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do, for her. He takes Lila's hand. They walk toward the door. Claire follows. Where are you going? Home, where we belong. Ethan. He stops, turns. His voice breaks. I can't watch you choose between me and them. I can't ask you to give up your family, and I won't let Lila grow up thinking she's the reason yours fell apart. He leaves. Lila silent beside him. They walk down that perfect driveway, past those perfect lawns, into his car that barely starts in cold weather. Lila doesn't speak until they're on the highway. Did I do something wrong? Ethan's vision blurs. No, baby, you didn't do anything wrong. Then why did they say all those things? About money and bills and me going to the nurse. Her voice is so small, so careful, like she's trying not to break him more, because they don't understand. They think money is the same as love. It's not. Are we poor? Ethan's hands tighten on the wheel. We don't have extra, but you're fed and clothed and safe. That's not poor. But they said, they're wrong. Lila goes quiet then. Are you and Claire breaking up? Ethan can't answer. His throat is glass. They get home. Mrs. Alvarez takes one look and knows. She sends Ethan to take a walk. Sits with Lila. Ethan walks the neighborhood. Same streets he's walked for 7 years. Same buildings, same broken streetlights. Everything looks different. Everything looks like proof Charles was right. He comes back an hour later. The apartment is quiet. Lila's door is closed. He can hear muffled crying. His daughter, trying not to be loud, trying not to be a problem. He opens the door. She's curled under her NASA blanket. Face blotchy. She looks up. I'm sorry I'm expensive. Ethan's heart shatters. He crosses the room, sits on her bed, pulls her into his lap even though she's too big for this. You're not expensive. You're priceless. There's a difference. But they said we have debt because of me, because of Mom dying when I was born. Ethan rocks her, tries to hold her together while he's falling apart. That debt is from love, from making sure you were healthy and safe. I'd go into debt 1,000 times over for you. Do you understand me? 1,000 times. Lila cries harder, the kind of crying that shakes her whole body. I don't want you to lose Claire because of me. I like her. I was starting to think maybe we could be a real family. We are a real family, you and me. But I wanted more. I wanted a mom. The word destroys him. I know, baby. I wanted that for you too. Lila pulls back, looks at him with eyes too old. Then why did you leave? Why did you run away? Because I was scared. Of what? Ethan chooses brutal honesty. Of them making you feel like you're not enough. Like you're a problem. I'm failing to solve. I watched you sit there while they read off every way I've failed you and I couldn't. His voice breaks. I couldn't let them keep hurting you. But you're hurting me now. By leaving. Her words are a knife. Mrs. Alvarez appears in the doorway. Lila. Honey, let me talk to your dad alone for a minute. Lila nods, wipes her face, leaves them there. Mrs. Alvarez doesn't sit. Stands over Ethan like a judge. You're not protecting her. You're protecting yourself. Ethan looks up, exhausted. I'm keeping her out of a family that sees her as a liability. No. You're teaching her that love runs away when it gets ugly. That she's too much, too expensive, too complicated. You're confirming everything those terrible people said. That's not fair, isn't it? You met people who judged you, who hurt you, and instead of fighting back, you grabbed your kid and ran. What does that teach her? Ethan's head drops into his hands. I don't know how to fix this. Mrs. Alvarez's voice softens. You call Claire. You apologize. You tell her you panicked. And then you decide together how to handle her family. You don't make unilateral decisions about a relationship that involves more than just you. What if she doesn't want me back? Then you deal with it. But you don't get to decide for her. That's not love. That's control dressed up as protection. Ethan's phone is full of missed calls, texts from Claire. Please call. We can fix this. Don't shut me out. I'm not giving up. I love you. The last one stops him. She's never said it before. He calls. She answers on the first ring. Thank God. Her voice is wrecked. I'm sorry. Ethan's voice cracks. I panicked. I saw Lila's face and I couldn't. I know. But you can't run every time my family is terrible. We have to face them together. They destroyed me in front of my kid. And I destroyed them after you left. What? I told them they were dead to me. That they lost all access to my life until they could treat you with basic human decency. My mother cried. My father tried to argue. I didn't care. I chose you. Ethan can't speak. So please, come back. Let's figure this out. Me and you and Lila. Together. Leela appears in his doorway. Pajamas. Tear-stained face. Is that Claire? Ethan nods. Lila walks over. Takes the phone. Hi, Claire. Claire's voice filters through the speaker. Hi, sweetheart. I'm so sorry about today. Lila's voice is steady. Sure? Are you quitting because it's hard? No. Are you going to leave us because your family is mean? Never. Lila looks at Ethan. My dad's scared. He thinks we're too much for you. You're not too much. You're exactly right. Lila hands the phone back. She's not quitting. So you can't quit either. Be brave, scared. That's what you always tell me. Ethan stares at his daughter. This 7-year-old person teaching him how to be a man. He puts the phone to his ear. I'm sorry. I ran. Claire's voice is broken but firm. Come back. We fight together. Ethan looks at Lila. At Mrs. Alvarez watching from the doorway. At his small apartment with its broken heater and thin walls. He thinks about Claire standing in that dining room choosing him. About Lila asking if she did something wrong. About what it means to be brave when everything in you screams to hide. Okay, we'll come back, but we do this my way. Boundaries, consequences, no more ambushes. Agreed. Tomorrow, my place. We make a plan. Leela climbs into his lap again. Tell her I still choose her. Ethan repeats it. His voice breaks on every word. She says she still chooses you. Claire is crying. I choose both of you. Always. They hang up. Lila doesn't move from his lap. Are we going to be okay? Ethan kisses her hair. Yeah, baby, we're going to fight for it. Together. Lila nods. Already half asleep. Trusting him to fix what he broke. Mrs. Alvarez appears with tea. Sets it down. Pats his shoulder. Now you're learning. What? That love isn't about protecting people from pain. It's about being brave enough to hurt together. Ethan drinks the tea. Holds his daughter. Thinks about the woman who chose him over everything. He texts Claire one more time. Thank you for not giving up on us. Her response comes immediately. Never. We're family now. Family doesn't quit. Ethan closes his eyes. Lets himself believe that maybe broken people can build something that doesn't shatter at the first sign of pressure. That maybe scared is okay as long as you're scared together. That maybe his daughter just taught him the most important lesson of his life. Be brave, scared. He holds Lila tighter. Whispers into her hair. I'm learning, baby. I'm learning. The next morning, Ethan takes Lila to Mrs. Alvarez. She goes without complaint, but her eyes hold questions. You're going to see Claire. Yeah. Are you going to fix it? Ethan kneels, meets her gaze. I'm going to try. But I need you to know something. No matter what happens with Claire, you and I are solid. Always. Lila nods. Then she says the thing that's been building since yesterday. Her family thinks we're broken. Ethan's jaw tightens. We're not broken. We're just different from what they're used to. Different bad or different good. Different real. Lila thinks about this, accepts it. Okay, go fix it. She walks into Mrs. Alvarez's apartment without looking back. Brave. Trusting him not to mess this up again. Claire's apartment is downtown, building with a doorman, elevator that requires a key card. Everything about it screams money, and Ethan feels his Goodwill jacket like a brand. Claire opens the door before he knocks, like she's been waiting by it. She looks like she hasn't slept. Hair pulled back. No makeup, sweatpants. She's never looked more real to him. They stand there. Two people who ran from each other trying to figure out how to run toward each other instead. Claire steps back, lets him in. Her apartment is smaller than he expected. Clean lines, minimal furniture. It feels more like a hotel than a home. There are no photos on the walls, no personal touches, just expensive emptiness. You want coffee? Ethan nods. They move to the kitchen. She makes it the way he likes it. Black 1 sugar. They sit at a table that probably cost more than his car. Claire goes first. After you left, I stayed. I needed them to hear what I had to say without you there to protect. What did you say? That they're toxic. That their obsession with status and money has cost them relationships for years. That I'm done shrinking myself to fit their expectations. How did they take it? My mother cried. My father tried to argue that he was protecting me. Brooke left because she couldn't handle confrontation. I told them all the same thing. They get no access to my life until they can treat you and Lila with basic respect. Ethan's throat tightens. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. Because here's what I realized. I've spent my entire life trying to earn their approval. Went to the right school, got the right degree, dated the right men, and I was miserable. Then I met you and Lila, and for the first time I felt like I could breathe. She leans forward. I don't care if they never come around. I care about building something real with you, but I need to know you're in this, that you won't run the next time things get hard. Ethan looks at his hands, calloused, scarred, working hands. I ran because I was terrified. Not of your family, of failing Lila, of proving them right, that I'm not enough, that she deserves better. You are enough. How do you know? Because your daughter knows. Because Mrs. Alvarez knows. Because I know. She reaches across, takes his hands, but I need you to believe it too. Because I can't fight for us alone. I need you fighting beside me. Ethan squeezes her hands, feels the weight of what she's offering. Partnership. Real partnership. I'm scared I'm going to mess this up. Then mess it up with me. We'll figure it out together. They sit in silence, the kind that feels like rebuilding. What do we do about your family? Claire pulls out a notebook. She's been planning. We set boundaries. Clear ones. They don't get to ambush us. They don't get to investigate you. They don't get access to Lila unless they can prove they'll treat her with love and respect. And if they violate any of those boundaries, we walk. Permanently. You'd really cut them off. I already have. They're on probation. They earn their way back in or they don't. Their choice. Ethan stares at her. This woman who walked away from everything familiar because he and Lila mattered more. I don't know what I did to deserve you. Claire's smile is sad and true. You let me meet your daughter. You trusted me with the most important person in your life. That's everything. They spend the next hour building rules, writing them down, making them concrete. No surprise visits, no background checks, no financial interrogations, no comments about Lila's upbringing or Ethan's choices, no fake sweetness that masks judgment. If they can't be genuine, they don't get to be present. Claire calls her mother that afternoon, puts it on speaker. I'm coming over tomorrow. With Ethan, we're going to lay out expectations. You're going to listen. And then you're going to decide if you can meet them. Marianne's voice is careful. Of course, sweetheart. We want to make this right. Then prove it. The next day, they drive back to that house. Ethan's stomach is acid, but Claire's hand is steady in his. We do this together. You don't face them alone. I don't face them alone. We're a unit. Ethan nods. Charles and Marianne are in the living room. Formal, uncomfortable. Brooke isn't there. Apparently she declined to participate. Claire doesn't sit, stands. Attorney mode. We're here because you asked for another chance, but it's conditional. Here are the terms. She reads from the notebook, each boundary clear and non-negotiable. Charles tries to interrupt twice. Claire shuts him down. I'm not finished. When she is, the room is silent. Charles clears his throat. Some of these seem extreme. They're not. They're basic human decency. Can you meet them or not? Marianne speaks, her voice shaking. We can try. Trying isn't enough. Either you commit to treating Ethan and Lila with respect, or you don't get to be part of our lives. It's that simple. Charles looks at Ethan. Really looks. For the first time without calculation. I was wrong. The background check was invasive and cruel. I should have trusted Claire's judgment. Ethan doesn't let him off easy. You humiliated me in front of my daughter. She cried herself to sleep thinking she's a burden, that she costs too much, that she's the reason her dad can't be happy. 7 years old, and you made her feel like she has to apologize for existing. Charles's face crumbles. Real regret, finally. I'm sorry. Tell her. Not me. When you've earned the right to see her again, you tell her. Charles nods. Marianne adds quietly. We'd like to try again. Properly this time. No judgment. Just getting to know the people our daughter loves. Claire looks at Ethan, waits for his signal. He thinks about Lila. About teaching her that people can change. That forgiveness is possible if the apology is real. One more chance. But if you hurt her again, we're done. Forever. Understood. They leave. Drive in silence. Ethan stares out the window. Do you think they mean it? Claire's voice is tired. I think they're scared of losing me. Whether that's enough to change them, I don't know. But we gave them a roadmap. Now we see if they follow it. That night, Ethan tells Lila everything. How they set boundaries. How her grandparents want to try again. Lila listens. Face serious. Do I have to see them? No, not until you're ready. And only if they prove they can be kind. What if they're never kind? Then you never see them. Your safety matters more than their feelings. Lila nods, relieved. Over the next 3 weeks, something shifts. Charles calls, asks if he can take Ethan to lunch. Neutral location. No agenda. Ethan goes, wary. They sit in a small restaurant. Nothing fancy. Ethan's choice. Charles looks older up close, tired. He orders coffee and doesn't touch the menu. I owe you an apology that isn't filtered through my daughter. Ethan waits. I built my life around control, around managing variables and minimizing risk. When Claire told us about you, I saw risk. Single father. Financial instability. Different background. I thought I was protecting her. He pauses. What I was really doing was trying to control her life because I couldn't control my own fear. Fear of losing her, fear of her making choices I don't understand. Ethan drinks his coffee. Lets Charles sit in his own discomfort. I read your life like a list of problems. Debt. Violations. A child who needs resources. I didn't see the man who pays his bills even when it costs him everything. Who raises his daughter alone. Who loves my daughter enough to walk away to protect his kid. He meets Ethan's eyes. I was classist and cruel and I'm ashamed. The apology lands. Real, unpolished, human. Ethan sets his cup down. Your background check exposed every failure of my life. You listed them like evidence in a trial. And my daughter heard it. She's 7 and she thinks she's the reason I'm broke, that I'd be better off without her. You did that. I know. One more time and you never see her. I don't care if you're Claire's father. I don't care if you own half of Chicago. You don't get to make my kid feel worthless. Charles nods. I understand. And I accept those terms. They finish lunch. Not friends, but no longer enemies. Claire starts spending more time at Ethan's apartment. Learns the rhythm of their life. Morning chaos. Homework battles. Bedtime routines. One night, after Lila's asleep, Claire sits at his kitchen table. Something weighing on her. I've been thinking. Ethan looks up from the dishes. About us, about long term, about what happens next. She's nervous. He can see it in the way she grips her mug. I want to adopt Lila. Eventually, if she wants it, if you want it. The words hit him like a freight train. You want to adopt her. Not now, not tomorrow, but someday. I want her to know I'm choosing her, permanently, legally. Not as your girlfriend, not as someone passing through, as her mother. Ethan sits, legs weak. That's a big commitment. Claire's eyes are fierce. I know. That's why I mean it. She pulls out papers, not legal documents, handwritten notes. I've been researching, talking to lawyers quietly, understanding what it means, what it requires. I want to do this right, with your blessing, with her blessing. But I needed you to know, I'm not playing house, I'm building a family. Ethan's vision blurs. She doesn't have a mom anymore. I've tried to be enough, but you are enough. You've always been enough. But you don't have to do it alone anymore. Let me help. Let me be her mother. Not to replace the one she lost, but to be the one she has now. Ethan can't speak, can only nod. Claire reaches across. We'll ask her. When the time is right, when she feels safe. When my family has proven they can be decent. But I need you to know, this isn't conditional. This isn't temporary. I'm all in. That weekend, they take Lila to the aquarium. Slow Saturday. Crowds thin. Lila presses her face to the glass, watching jellyfish pulse like alien heartbeats. Claire stands beside her. Patient, not forcing conversation. They look like they're breathing light. Lila glances up. That's poetic. I have my moments. They move through exhibits. Lila reads every placard. Asks questions Claire can't answer but promises to research. At the touch pools, Lila hesitates, afraid of the rays gliding beneath the surface. Claire kneels beside her. You don't have to touch them if you don't want to. But I want to be brave. Being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means doing it anyway. Even if your hand shakes. Lila looks at her, processing. Like you, with my dad. Claire's breath catches. Yeah, like that. Lila puts her hand in the water. Slow. Careful. A ray glides past. Touches her fingers. She gasps, laughs. I did it. You did. Ethan watches from a few feet away. Sees his daughter learning courage from a woman who chose them. Who stayed when staying was hard. Later ice cream on the pier. Lake wind cutting cold. Lila between them. Claire starts carefully. Lila, can I ask you something important? Lila licks her cone, nods. How would you feel if someday I became your mom? Legally. Through adoption, if you wanted that. Lila stops licking, goes very still. Like a real mom. As real as it gets. Lila looks at Ethan, searching his face for permission. It's your choice, kiddo. Completely your choice. Lila turns back to Claire. Would you leave? Never, even if it gets hard. Especially then, Lila thinks. Wind pulls at her hair. Ethan holds his breath. I want two moms. One who I remember in my heart, and one who's here. Claire's eyes fill. I think that's perfect. Okay. Then yes. Someday, when you and Dad think it's right, I want you to be my mom. Claire hugs her. Careful. Asking permission. Lila hugs back. Fierce, choosing. Ethan watches his family grow. Watches his daughter claim the mother she deserves. Watches the woman he loves become the person he didn't know they needed. That night after Lila's asleep, Claire and Ethan sit on his worn couch. She said yes. She said yes. They sit in the weight of it. The responsibility, the joy, the terror. What do we do now? We keep building. One day at a time. We finalize boundaries with my family. We let them earn their way back in if they can. We start looking at legal paperwork. We make this real. Ethan looks at her. When? When feels right. When Lila's ready. When we're ready. She takes his hand. But I'm thinking soon. I don't want to wait anymore. I've waited my whole life for a family. I found one. I'm not letting it go. Ethan kisses her. Soft, sure, grateful. I love you. Claire smiles against his mouth. I love you too, both of you. They stay there. Two people who found each other in a restaurant on Christmas night. Who chose each other when choosing was hard. Who decided scared was better than alone. The next week Charles calls, asks if he can see Lila, under supervision. Ethan's terms. Ethan talks to Lila first. Your grandfather wants to meet you properly. To apologize. You don't have to see him if you don't want to. Lila thinks. Will you be there? The whole time. Will Claire? Yes. Okay, I'll listen, but if he's mean, I'm leaving. Fair. They meet at a park. Neutral. Public. Charles arrives without Marianne. Alone, deliberate. He sits on a bench. Lila sits on Ethan's lap. Claire beside them. United front. Charles speaks directly to Lila, not to Ethan over her head. Hi, Lila. I'm Claire's dad, and I need to apologize to you. Lila's face is skeptical. For what? For saying things that made you feel bad. For treating your dad poorly. For acting like money is more important than people. I was wrong. Lila watches him, calculating. My dad says you did a background check. I did, and I shouldn't have. It was invasive and unkind. Did you think we were bad people? Charles's face does something painful. No, I thought I knew better. I thought I could protect my daughter by controlling her choices. But I can't, and I shouldn't try. He pauses. You're important to Claire. That makes you important to me. I'd like a chance to know you, if you'll let me. Lila looks at Ethan. He nods. Your choice. She looks back at Charles. I like space and science and reading and my dad. If you're mean to any of those things, we're done. Charles almost smiles. I can respect that. Okay, you get one more chance. Thank you. They walk through the park. Slow, careful. Charles asks about school, about her interests, actually listens. Lila warms, slightly, still guarded. When they leave, Lila announces her verdict. He was okay. Not great, but okay. That's a start. That night, Ethan and Claire sit on his couch again. Their couch now. Your dad tried. He did. Think he'll keep trying. I think he's scared of losing me. And scared of what that says about him. But scared can be useful. It makes people evolve. Ethan pulls her close. We're really doing this. We're really doing this. Building a family from broken pieces. Teaching each other how to stay, how to fight, how to choose brave over safe. Ethan thinks about Christmas night. About sitting alone in that restaurant. About the woman who stood up and asked an impossible question. Will you be my husband? He looks at Claire. At the life they're building. At his daughter asleep down the hall who will soon have two parents. He smiles. Yeah, I will. Spring comes slow to Chicago. Melting snow reveals a city underneath. Gray and real and still standing. Charles starts showing up. Not announced, not invasive, just present. He takes Ethan to lunch once a week. Same small restaurant. No agenda beyond learning who his daughter chose. They talk about work, about Lila, about what it means to build a life without a safety net. Charles listens more than he speaks, learning a language he never bothered to study. One afternoon, he brings something, an envelope, sets it on the table between them. What's this? Ethan opens it. Inside a check, made out to the 3 collection agencies. Full amounts, paid in full. Ethan's hands shake. I can't take this. Charles leans back. It's not charity, it's restitution. I used your debt as a weapon, to humiliate you, to prove you weren't good enough. I can't undo that, but I can remove the weight I weaponized. Ethan stares at the numbers. $47,000. The sum of his wife's death. The price of keeping his daughter alive. This doesn't change what you did, I know, but it might change what you can do next. For Lila, for yourself. Ethan's vision blurs. Pride wars with practicality, with the knowledge that this money means boots that fit. Dental work without payment plans. A security deposit on a better apartment. He folds the check, puts it in his pocket. Thank you. Charles nods. Doesn't make it more than it is. There's something else. My wife and I. We'd like to set up an education fund for Lila, college, whatever she needs. Not to control, not to obligate, just to provide. Ethan's jaw tightens. She's 7, I know, but college comes faster than you think. And I don't want money to be the thing that limits her dreams. Ethan searches Charles's face, looking for the trap, the strings, the way this will be used later. He finds nothing but an old man trying to buy back what he destroyed. No strings, none. Legal documents. You and Claire as trustees, full control. We fund it. You decide how it's used. Ethan nods slowly. Okay. They finish lunch. Walk out into spring sun. Charles stops on the sidewalk. I don't expect you to like me, or forgive me quickly, but I'm going to keep showing up, keep trying, because my daughter loves you, and my granddaughter deserves better than the man I was. Ethan meets his eyes. Then be better. I'm trying. Marianne comes next. Alone. Asks to take Lila for ice cream, supervised. Claire goes with them. They sit at a bright parlor. Too many flavors. Lila orders Rocky Road, extra marshmallows. Marianne doesn't force conversation. Sits across from them. Watches Lila eat like she's memorizing her. You look like your father. Lila glances up. People say I look like my mom too. I have her eyes. Marianne's face softens. That's a gift. Lila studies her, cautious. Why were you mean to my dad? Marianne doesn't flinch, doesn't dodge. Because I was scared. Your dad is different from what I'm used to. Different isn't bad. But I convinced myself it was. I was wrong. She pauses. I judged him without knowing him. That was cruel. Lila nods, accepts this. He's a good dad, the best. I believe you. They walk after. Along the lake. Wind less cutting now. Lila runs ahead, chasing pigeons. Marianne looks at Claire. She's extraordinary. She is. You're lucky. I know. Marianne's voice drops. I'm sorry I made you feel like you had to choose. Between us and them. That was unfair. Claire stops walking. You did make me choose. And I chose them. I'll choose them every time. Marianne nods, tears in her eyes. I know. That's why I'm here. Learning to be worthy of being chosen back. Over the next 2 months, the Whitmores show up. To Lila's school science fair. To Saturday morning library trips. To dinner at Ethan's apartment where they eat off mismatched plates and pretend not to notice the water stain on the ceiling. They're awkward, trying too hard, but trying. Lila softens, slowly. Lets them in inch by inch. One night after they leave, Lila asks the question, are they my grandparents now? Ethan looks at Claire. She nods. If you want them to be. Lila thinks about this. Okay, but I'm keeping Mrs. Alvarez too. She's my real grandma. You can have both. Good. Claire starts staying over more. Her toothbrush appears in Ethan's bathroom. Her clothes in his closet. The apartment stops feeling temporary. One Sunday morning, Ethan wakes to find Claire and Lila at the kitchen table. Papers spread between them. Legal documents. Claire looks up. We were going to wait, but Lila has questions. Lila's face is serious, scared, hopeful. Claire wants to adopt me, but I need to understand what it means. Ethan sits, heart pounding. What do you want to know? Lila looks at the papers. Does it mean my mom isn't my mom anymore? Claire answers, steady, clear. No. Your mom will always be your mom. Sarah gave you life. Loved you. died bringing you into the world. Nothing changes that. Adoption means I become your mother too. Legally. You'll have two moms, one you carry in your heart, one who's here. Lila nods. Processing. Will my name change? Only if you want it to. You can keep Carter, or add Whitmore, or create something new. Your choice. What if you and Dad break up? Claire doesn't hesitate. I'm still your mother. Adoption is permanent. Even if your dad and I don't work out, you're mine. Forever. Lila looks at Ethan. Is this what you want? More than anything. Lila looks back at Claire. Whenever you're ready. Lila takes a breath. 7 years old, making a decision that will shape her entire life. I'm ready now. The paperwork takes months. Background checks. Home studies. Interviews. A social worker comes to the apartment. Talks to Lila alone. Asks hard questions. Do you want this, or does your dad want this? I want it. Why? Because Claire stayed. When it was hard. When her family was mean. When we didn't have money or a nice house, she stayed. That's what moms do. The social worker writes notes, nods. The court date arrives in late summer. Ethan wears his good suit. Claire in a simple dress. Lila in purple, her favorite color. Mrs. Alvarez comes. The Whitmores come. Sit in the back. Quiet, respectful. The judge is a black woman in her 50s. Kind eyes. She's seen every kind of family. She reads the file, looks at Lila. Come up here, sweetheart. Lila walks forward. Brave. Ethan starts to follow. The judge shakes her head. Just her. I need to hear from her. Lila stands in front of the bench, small, certain. Do you understand what adoption means? Yes, ma'am. It means Claire becomes my mom forever. And that's what you want. Yes, ma'am. Why? Lila doesn't hesitate. My friend Maya says family is who stays. My first mom stayed until she couldn't. Claire stayed when she didn't have to. I want her to be my mom because she chose me. The judge's eyes shine. That's a very wise answer. She looks at Claire. You understand the responsibility you're taking on. Claire stands. I do, Your Honor. I'm not replacing her mother. I'm honoring what her mother started. By giving Lila the family she deserves. The judge looks at Ethan. You're in agreement. Completely. She stamps the papers. Decisive, final. Then, by the power vested in me by the state of Illinois, I grant this adoption. Lila Carter is now legally the daughter of Claire Whitmore. Congratulations. The courtroom erupts. Mrs. Alvarez cries. Marianne cries. Charles stands, applauds quietly. Lila runs to Claire. Claire drops to her knees, catches her, holds her like she's always held her, but now it's legal. Now it's permanent. My daughter, my mom. Ethan joins them. His family, complete. Outside the courthouse, they take photos. Lila between her parents, grinning, certificate in hand. Charles approaches. Careful, respectful. Congratulations, all of you. Lila looks at him. You're my grandpa now, officially. Charles's voice breaks. I'm honored. That night, Claire cooks dinner. Their apartment, their family. Lila sets the table like she's done 100 times. After dinner, Ethan and Claire do dishes. Domestic, normal, perfect. Claire dries her hands, nervous. I want to show you and Lila something, tomorrow, if you're free. What is it? A surprise. Trust me. They arrive at the Adler Planetarium the next evening. Lila bounces. She loves this place. Has been a dozen times. They enter. The place is empty. Private showing. Just them. Inside the dome they lie back. Stars appear overhead. Constellations. Nebulae. The galaxy spinning above them. Then something changes. Photos appear. Projected on the dome. Huge. Glowing. The restaurant. Christmas night. The table where Ethan sat alone. The park. Lila on the swings. First meeting. The kitchen. Flour everywhere, failed baking attempt, all of them laughing. The courthouse steps, this morning, certificate held high, each memory written in stars, their story told in light. Then words appear, massive, impossible to miss. Will you marry us? Ethan's breath stops. Lila gasps. He looks at Claire. She's kneeling beside him, ring in hand. Nothing massive. Simple gold band. Real. I know we did this backwards. Adoption before marriage. But I wanted Lila to know she comes first. Always. That she's not conditional on anything. She's ours, forever. She looks at Lila. And now I'm asking both of you. Will you be my family? Legally. Permanently, in every way that matters. Lila doesn't wait for Ethan. Yes, obviously yes. Claire laughs, cries. Ethan can't speak, can only nod, can only pull her close. Kiss her while their daughter cheers and stars spin overhead. He pulls back, voice wrecked. You chose us when nobody else did. When we were broken and complicated and expensive. You stayed, so yes, 1,000 times yes. She slides the ring on his finger. He hadn't expected one, hadn't thought that far. I had 2 made, 1 for each of us. She shows hers, matching. We're a team now, partners forever. Lila climbs onto both their laps. Too big for this, but doing it anyway. When's the wedding? Claire looks at Ethan. When do you want it? Small, just us, just people who matter. Perfect. They plan it for early fall. Before the cold returns. Before another winter. Small ceremony at the courthouse. Same judge who granted the adoption. She grins when she sees them. Back so soon. We don't waste time. Good, neither do I. Mrs. Alvarez is there. The Whitmores, a few friends from work. Lila in a purple dress she picked herself. Claire in white. Simple, beautiful. Ethan in a new suit that fits. Charles walks Claire down the short hallway, stops before Ethan. Take care of them. I will, and let them take care of you. Ethan meets his eyes. I'm learning. The vows are short, personal, written by hand. Claire goes first. I promise to choose you, every day, in every way, when it's easy and when it's hard, when your family is complicated and when mine is worse. I promise to be Lila's mother, your partner, the person who stays. Ethan's turn, voice shaking. I promise to let you in, even when I'm scared, even when I want to run. I promise to build a life with you that's honest and real and ours. I promise to be brave, scared, because that's what you taught me. Lila stands between them, holding the rings. The judge smiles. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you married. You may kiss. They do. Soft, sure, choosing each other again. Lila cheers. Mary Ann cries. Charles claps. Mrs. Alvarez shouts something in Spanish that sounds like blessing. They walk out into fall sun. Family, legal, real. That night, they go to the lake, Navy Pier, lights reflecting on water. Lila runs ahead, chasing the light. Ethan and Claire walk slowly. Hands linked. We did it. We did. Lila stops, points up. Real stars now, not projected ones. Dad, Claire, look! They stand beside her. 3 people who found each other in a restaurant on Christmas night. Who chose the hard thing, the real thing, the scared thing. Lila's voice is soft, sure. Family is who stays. Ethan squeezes Claire's hand, looks at his daughter, his wife, his life, and we're staying. Claire pulls them both close, forever. They stand there. Lake wind and gentle now. City lights behind them, stars ahead. A family built from broken pieces and brave choices. Lila leans into them. Safe, loved, chosen. Can we get pizza? They laugh, the sound carrying over water, over everything they survived to get here. Yeah, kiddo, we can get pizza. They walk back toward the car, Lila between them, swinging their hands, talking about toppings and homework and whether Mars rovers dream. Normal, beautiful, theirs. Behind them, the lake reflects stars. The city keeps moving. Another couple walks past. Another family being born or ending or transforming. But this one, this family of 3, built from a Christmas night rejection and a question that sounded like madness. This family stays. Ethan looks at Claire over Lila's head, mouths the words. I love you, she mouths back. Forever. And in the space between them and the small hand gripping theirs in the city that witnessed their beginning, they find the thing they were always looking for. Home. Not a place. Not a house. Not money or status or approval from people who measure love in dollars. Home is who stays, who chooses, who fights. Home is a single dad and a woman who couldn't have children, and a girl who deserves 2 mothers. Home is brave scared, is choosing anyway, is building something real from broken pieces. They pile into Ethan's car. Still old, still unreliable, still theirs. Claire sits in front, Lila in back, already half asleep. Pizza forgotten. As they drive through Chicago streets, Ethan thinks about the man he was a year ago. Alone in a restaurant, calculating the cost of humiliation and dental bills and boots. He thinks about the woman who stood up and asked the impossible. He thinks about his daughter choosing a mother. About love that's legal now, permanent, unbreakable. And he thinks this is what hope looks like. Not perfect, not easy, just real. Just staying when leaving would be simpler. Just 3 people deciding they're worth the fight. The car hits a pothole. Typical Chicago. Claire laughs. Lila doesn't even wake. Ethan keeps driving. Toward their apartment with its water stains and thin walls. Toward the life they built together. Toward tomorrow and the day after and all the days that follow. Toward home. Because family isn't about blood or money or meeting someone's expectations. Family is who stays. And they're staying. All of them. Forever. If this story reminded you that real families are built, not born drop A-like. If you've ever felt like you weren't enough until someone chose you anyway, leave a comment. And tell me where you're watching from because every single one of you deserves to be chosen too.